These are my vitamins. Let's take a shot. All right. There's about 15 pills in here. That's what I need for my day. Just got off work. It's been a long day. There. Got my vitamins. Good to go. So how I start my day, what my schedule is I wake up, roll out of bed, use the restroom, do what I got to do. Head straight to the scale. I hit the scale. Look down, see what my scale is. Step off the scale because I'm kind of strange like that. I got to make sure it's correct. So I step back on the scale. I look down. Oh, okay, it's the same as the last time, so it must be correct. I mark my weight down. Then I head over in the kitchen, grab my fast break, my breakfast, which consists of usually 2 or 3 eggs, almonds that are weighed by the gram, and that's usually it. Depends on my schedule for my calories and my macros. It's usually just a couple eggs, a few eggs, and some almonds. Might include oatmeal, scoop of protein powder. Depends on the day. Depends on my calculator. We'll get into that later. So I'm sitting here thinking, like the last 12 weeks before today. Today is week 1. The last 12 weeks of my life, I've been slowly climbing up a hill, rung by rung, rock by rock. I started off the first 2 weeks just going to the gym, getting on the elliptical, maybe the bicycle, doing 15 minutes of cardio and whatever muscle group those exercises target. That's what I was doing. I show up, warm up, get on those machines and start slow, 15 minutes, go back into the yoga room, stretch out, cool off, meditate, go home. That's what I did for about 2 weeks. I didn't try to approach the weights. Okay. Week 3 for me was, okay, it's time to hit some weights. I've been doing elliptical, the bicycle. I've been doing slight cardio, warm ups, all this stuff for a couple weeks. From where I've been in my 20s, my 30s, it was a whole lifestyle change. It was strange to me. Like, why can't I go all out? And I knew at this time, I'm 50 years old right now today. I knew I couldn't go all out right off because I'm going to injure myself. And I've been there before. At 47 years old, I got a membership to the gym, jumped up, grabbed the pull-up bar, and thought I was going to do a pull-up like I did in my 20s and my 30s. Nah, what happened was I pulled a muscle in my rhomboid. I was out for 6 months. So I knew I had to approach this intelligently. So I started off the 2 weeks with elliptical, bicycle, yada, yada. Circling back, I went to start on the weights, and I started light. Okay. For example, I started curls. I started curls on 10s. Curl 10s. I'm doing my concentrics, my eccentrics with 10s. Well, this is really easy. So, but I started slow. And over the course of the 12 months, I built up more muscle, more strength, of course, and got to a certain set of weights that I can handle. And I did it. I brought myself up to the point where I am now throughout the 12 weeks. So after, I don't know, what was it about? About week 8. It doesn't matter. The exact number doesn't matter. So about after I started getting comfortable with the weights, I started getting a little more confident. So yeah, my bones, my sinews, my joints, my ligaments, all that stuff started strengthening up through just resisting gravity. Okay, at 50 years old, I'm resisting gravity. I'm not only developing muscles, I'm developing the assisting systems that work with your muscles. So I thought, let's start hitting the heavy bag like I used to back in the day, you know. So at the time, I started hitting the heavy bag, and I did pretty good. I did pretty good for a beginner. All over again, I was a beginner on the heavy bag, and I've been banging on that sucker and been doing a pretty good job. So during that time, working out the past 12 weeks, my body recomposition program, I just started out eating wholesome food. We'll say like bro food, chicken, rice, broccoli, every day. Well, not chicken, rice, and broccoli, but you get the idea. Wholesome food. You know, oatmeal, eggs, steak, chicken. I'm eating freaking beans, cottage cheese, just to fill the gaps like a shotgun, you know. And through time, like 3 months later, I don't know what the exact time is. I'm not tracking everything. I decided to get back on an old program I used to be on in my 30s called OMAD, OMAD, which is an acronym for 1 meal a day, which means you fast for 23 hours and you eat for 1 hour. So you got 1 hour to eat. That's what you do. And you can look up intermittent fasting. It's very good for you. Take my word for it, or don't research it. See what the benefits of fasting are. I'm not going to explain it. It's going to take way too long. Anyways, it worked for me in my 30s. OMAD no longer worked, especially because, you know, as a 235-pound man at 6'4", I require a lot of calories. I restricted myself to 2,000 calories a day. I was hangry. 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 My moods fluctuated. I was tired. Um, I couldn't understand what's going on because I used to do this in my late 30s. My 40s, forget about it. I was a mess in my 40s. Anyways, OMAD didn't work. So I switched to another intermittent fasting program called the 16-8, where I fast for 16 hours and I have 8 hours to eat. So after that 16 hours is over, I'm able to eat. So that worked better for me for my lifestyle right now, 50 years old. So after 16 hours fasting, I get to eat. And the first meal of my day is what I call fast break, or most people know as break fast, or breakfast. But I don't wake up and eat. I wake up at 9 p.m. or 2100 hours, and it's still not time to eat for me. Um, I'm not going to go over my time. However, I have to wait till 16 hours before my last meal until I eat. So, which is usually around 4:0200 or 2 a.m. So I wake up at 9 p.m. I can eat at 2 a.m. for my 16-8 intermittent fasting diet program. I hate the word diet. I like nutritional system. Diet sounds so fatty. Fatty, not fatty like fat, like a fad. It's not a fad. It's been scientifically proven. All the results are in. The votes have been cast. Intermittent fasting works. Look it up. We can talk about, you know, the carnivore diet. We can talk about keto, and we can debate back and forth about everything. I'm not going there. What works for you works for you. Intermittent fasting works for me. I've done keto. I've done the carnivore diet. I've done those things. I have my opinions. I'll keep them to myself. Anyways, my point is, I went on the 16-8 and it works for me. So I wake up at 9 p.m. Oh, for you civilians, 2100 hours for people like me. 0200 hours, I can eat, and I have to stop eating at 10 a.m. even in the past 12 weeks, I was on this diet, right? Or this nutrition program, which I prefer. Um, my weight was fluctuating. It was going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. That's because I was getting lazy. I had no discipline. I would be good for 4 days. Next 3 days, I would suck. I would be drinking beer, get myself a large pizza, and then go back on it. And then my weight would go back up and go back down. No discipline, just sloppy discipline. However, I was still going to the gym 3 times a week. Despite that, my weight still was doing this number. 235. Lowest I got, I think, was 227. My goal is 220. I almost made it there, but that was on the OMAD diet when I was basically starving myself, for 23 hours a day on a 2,000 calorie diet. Didn't work. You got to think about this thing. This is your brain, right? 2,000 calories for a 235-pound man at 6'4", 50 years of age. It's not going to work. It worked in my 30s. I don't know why. Obviously, I was younger. You do the math. You tell me why. It doesn't work for me now. So I adjusted. And what works for me now is intermittent fasting 16-8 system. So far, I'm on 2,400 calories every day, 8-hour feeding window on my graveyard schedule, and I'm sticking with that. And if I need to, I can adjust. So the key to one's fitness goals, it varies person to person. However, the consensus is most people will agree it depends on if you want to gain weight, you want to lose weight. What do you want to do with your health? Okay. So if you want to lose weight, you want to gain weight. Let's put it that way. If you want to gain weight and you want to lose weight, you have to track your calories. And you have to track them accurately by the gram, by the milligram, if needed. The way to do that is to get in your BMR, and your TDEE. BMR is your basic metabolic rate. So BMR is basically what calories you need to regulate your body to stay alive without moving. Yeah, without moving. Basically, if you lay in bed all day, that's your BMR. How many calories are you using just lay in bed all day for a month? That's your BMR. Just to keep your body alive, keep yourself alive. Okay. Now take that into account. Most people don't just lay in bed for a month. They go to work, they work out or do whatever they do, physically. Rolling down a window, that costs calories. Blinking your eyes, believe it or not, that takes calories. Your heart beating takes calories. Breathing uses calories. Okay, that's what I mean with your BMR. Your total daily energy expenditure, which is TDEE, is taking into account your activity. What do you do? So my TDEE is my BMR, what it takes to basically keep me alive, and how many calories it takes to maintain a certain weight level. If I want to maintain my current weight level, gain weight, lose weight. So in order to determine that, what your TDEE is, if you want to lose or gain weight, you have to know what that number is. My TDEE, I wish there was another word for it, but that's what it is 3,100 calories a day at my current activity level. So if I want to stay 235 pounds, I can eat 3,100 calories, never lose a pound, never gain a pound. Okay? Real simple. So what I do is I went on, my favorite is Gym Geek. Went on there, put in my information. Your information should include your height, your weight, your current daily activities, your gender, your weight goals, your current weight, etc., etc. You go on there on that website that I use. You can use other things. That's the one I trust. That's the one I use. You basically input my information, it came up with 3,100 calories. Now that's my TDEE. I'll stay the same weight forever if I continue to eat 3,100 calories a day. So I knocked that down by 400. And that was around, 2,700 calories. I thought, no. I looked at the information that I was provided, and I would like to lose 1.5 pounds per week. Okay. And that's considered healthy by medical standards. 2 pounds maximum is considered the higher range of being healthy as far as weight loss goes. Anything beyond that, you're risking it. Like I said before, on my OMAD diet, I was losing weight like crazy, but I was in a calorie deficit of 1,100 calories. No bueno. Worked in my 30s, didn't work in my 50s. Okay, so I adjusted. Now I'm on a 2,400 calorie diet, and according to my weight scale, I've been losing approximately 1 to 1.5 pounds per week. So that's a healthy zone for me. Now my current diet or nutritional plan is at 0200 hours normally. My schedule is kind of crazy anyways with Muay Thai coming up this next week, this Monday. It's gonna be crazy, but I track everything, so everything's cool. But my current fast break is usually at 0200 hours. What do I normally eat? 0200 hours, the first meal of the day after fasting for 16 hours after my last meal. I usually eat 2 eggs, depending on what my nutrition plan is for the week, for the day, even. We'll just go that way to keep it simple. I weigh out my almonds. So I have eggs, almonds. If my plan affords it, I'll have a little bit of oatmeal. If I'm really lucky, I'll get a tablespoon of honey. So everything I eat down to the gram, down to the tablespoon, the quarter cup, half a cup, everything's weighed. It's calculated into my calculator. I use the Fat Fitness calculator. I'm not promoting it. That's what I use. It works for me. It's worked for me in the past, in my late 30s, when I was on OMAD, when OMAD worked for me. So yeah, every day I have a fast break at 0200 hours. And that's what I eat every day. So I'm not going to do every video showing you my fast break. This is basically eggs and nuts. So that would be boring for a video, right? Who wants to watch me cook eggs and eat nuts? Nobody. So that's what I eat for my fast break. I'm not going to include any of that crap. But that's how I break my fast, or that's my breakfast. So after my fast break, I have what I call my lunch, or in particular, I call it my pre-workout meal, which is not really a meal. However, it gets me into the gym, so I'm not working out on an empty stomach. When you're on OMAD, 1 meal a day, you're basically working out on an empty stomach. That don't work for me anymore. So I have to go to the gym now with something on my stomach, which usually consists of a scoop of Isomax protein powder, one scoop, and a banana. Sometimes, according to my daily calorie calculator, I can get away with probably half a cup of oatmeal, raw oatmeal. I measure everything out raw, which you should too. I won't go into it. I'll have a little oatmeal, maybe. Usually it consists of a protein shake and a banana. That's it. I go to the gym, and that's my pre-workout. If I can afford maybe a tablespoon of honey, I'll do that. However, I did find a secret for my oatmeal. Thank you, Sam Sulek. Use sugar-free preserves. I mean, I don't think it's really healthy for you in large quantities, but a tablespoon of sugar-free strawberry preserves, which contains sucralose. I don't think that's as healthy for you as maybe like sugar or something. However, it adds flavor to your oatmeal. And I've been known to eat oatmeal raw. Maybe put some pepper in my oatmeal or something to give it some flavor. But if I get a chance to put some kind of flavor other than pepper into my oatmeal, I'll take it. So sugar-free preserves in small quantities is fine. If you can get away with raw, unfiltered honey, not regular pasteurized honey, because it doesn't contain the necessary bacteria that raw, unfiltered, natural honey does. But that's what I use, like Nate's honey. Little plug in there, what I use. Keep it warm because it will crystallize and it turns into basically a solid mass until you heat it up. Big tip though, when you do get raw, natural honey, try to keep it in a warm area. When it crystallizes, you'll want to think, oh, I should put this in the microwave for a minute. Well, what that's going to do to your honey is it's going to destroy it. It's going to destroy the natural benefits you get from raw, unfiltered honey. Okay, that's what pasteurization does. It destroys all that crap. Don't do that. If you need to get your honey to flow from the crystallization process, put it in some warm water, hot water, not just out of your tap. Just let it sit in a bowl, and let it liquefy a little bit. Don't overheat it, and you'll be better off for it. So, honey's good. So let's get into macros or macro counting, right? Here's what I'm going to talk about in the future. We're talking about macros. Your macros are your carbohydrates, your fats, your proteins. 3 things. I'm not even talking about micros right now. You saw at the beginning of the video when I took my vitamins. Those are microvitamins. I'm going to talk about macros, your macronutrients, carbs, fats, proteins. Currently, my macro count on a ratio is 30-30-40, which is 30% carbohydrates, 30% fats, 40% proteins. So 30-30-40. Carbohydrates are necessary for energy, basically. I can get into it. I won't. Fats are necessary for your brain health, your hormone regulation. I could get into it further, but I won't. Proteins are necessary for muscle building and muscle preservation. I could get into it further. I won't. Right now, I take more protein than I do my carbs and my fats because on a lower calorie deficit, I want more protein to preserve my muscle mass and to possibly build more muscle on a calorie deficit. Later on, probably when I get back into Muay Thai, I'm suffering from an injury on my toe. So I haven't been to Muay Thai in a long time. So that's another story all in itself. However, I will probably bump my carbohydrates up a little bit for that athletic performance. Maybe. We'll see how it goes when I start Muay Thai again this next week on Monday. There will be videos of me doing Muay Thai. Right now, there's videos of me just in the gym, just doing some boxing in the bag, taking it easy on my toe, which is my main problem point. We'll see how that goes. So there's that. There you have it. I mean, in kind of a scatterbrain kind of way. Here's my baseline for my channel and the episodes to come. This is basically episode 1 of week number 1, episode 1 of a 3-part series of week 1. The reason I'm doing week 1 in a series of 3 videos is because it's going to take a long time, longer than I want, in order to put together. It'd probably be a 45-50 minute video. I'm going to break it up into 3 different videos. Right now, this is my baseline. This video right here, this is the first one. Forgive me. Things can get better, hopefully. But yeah, this is episode 1 of week 1. Episode 2 will be released no, in probably a couple days. Episode 3, day after that. Episode 2 is going to basically concentrate on some fun stuff, which I want to get into the fun stuff. Right now, I'm laying the foundation. Episode 2 will be me showing you what I eat, how I cook it, making it quick and easy. A lot of people who work out, who are in the fitness field or who want to get in the fitness field, in my case, being a late middle-aged man or early late middle-aged man, want to get in the fitness field. A lot of us guys in particular, I mean, not excluding you girls, let's keep it easy. Let's keep it simple. You know, if you don't like to cook, you don't want the complicated process of cooking and making all these recipes and everything, that's what I'm going to do. That's my intention, is to show you what I cook, how I cook it, how I make it easy, and just to get those vitamins, those minerals, the macros in your body without fussing about it. You know, what I could do is meal prep for the week, make all my meals, put them in a container, freeze them. However, I don't have a freezer big enough to do that. So what I do right now is real quick, real simple, and that's what I hope to achieve in my videos, to show you how easy it is to cook, to eat, if you're not interested in spending a lot of time in the kitchen. Episode 3 of week 1, which is going to come out here in a few days, is going to be my workout. Now, my workout video is going to be showing you what I've learned over time on how to weight train. Not necessarily for a beginner, but for somebody who doesn't know how to feel their way around a gym. Here's how I figured it out. And that episode 3, the final episode of week 1, is going to be about my workouts. I'm going to show you myself working out. And in the end, I'll show you some little tips on the heavy bag if you want to work the heavy bag. And that will be the end of week 1. So I chopped up week 1 basically into 3 parts. So the videos coming afterwards, week 2, week 3, week 4, so on and so forth, are going to be more simple. They're going to be shorter, straight to the point. My progress is going to be a 12-week program. So I'm not going to make 40-minute videos, an hour-long video of my entire progress. I'm going to try to keep them to about 20 minutes or so with the weeks progressing. And that's pretty much that. So this is week 1. Here I am. Let's get to it, and let's get to cooking. Let's get to working out. Peace.